So, NASCAR's second annual trip to the Roval happened, and it was interesting to say the least, especially for Hendrick Motorsports fans and fans of Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. This is Danny B, and welcome to Danny B Needs a Minute. Let's discuss everything that happened at the Roval this weekend. Needless to say, this weekend's racing actions were full of drama, and it all started on Friday when Michael McDowell was transported to hospital with abdominal pain. Turned out this is actually a kidney stone that he ended up passing, and in the meantime, while he was in the medical facility, Austin Cindric did get some time behind his car during practice. Then it was time for Cup Series qualifying, and the winner of the pole award for this race would be none other than William Byron. He's won quite a few pole awards this season, but he still hasn't been able to put together a winning run yet. He was joined on the front row by his teammate Alex Bowman. However, for Alex Bowman, he would end up losing that second place starting position after he would wreck in the final 30 seconds of practice at the Roval, and unfortunately he would have to go to a backup car and he would have to start from the very back. How would this affect him during the race though? We'll find out a little bit later. Then on Saturday, we saw the second ever Xfinity Series race at the Roval, and we would see none other than former Cup Series driver AJ Allmendinger take the win for Kaulig Racing in their second career victory for the team, and this time he was not disqualified. This was his third start for the team this season, and it was the first time that he was not disqualified after the race. AJ Allmendinger is indeed the winner of the Xfinity Series race at the Charlotte Roval. Then on Sunday, in the Cup Series race at the Charlotte Roval. This one would be one of the more interesting races that I think I've seen in quite some time. I would say in the end, the result of this one was crazier than the result from last year, despite not having a wreck at the end or anything like that. So, in the beginning, William Byron would go on to lead for more than 20 laps at the get-go. However, we would see some early drama in this race, as we would see a multi-car incident take place between Alex Bowman was involved, Eric Jones was a big person involved in it. It would essentially end Eric Jones's day, and that would basically entirely eliminate him from the playoffs. Then, a little bit later in the race, Chase Elliott would take the lead and show some early dominance. In fact, he would go on to really dominate most of Stage 2, take the win in Stage 2, but he did run into one big moment. On a restart, he actually took off and plowed right into the first turn safer barrier wall there. Damage to the car, lots of damage to the car. It was unfortunate. Everyone's thinking, oh no, he's been running so good. He's been dominating this race. It's been his race to win. He's done. Oh no. Well, he would go to the back, all the way back to 37th place, get the damage repaired, and, well, let's just talk about that a little bit later. While Chase Elliott had a big obstacle to overcome, his teammate Alex Bowman would also find himself in need of finding a way to overcome an obstacle. While William Byron was able to secure himself pretty good on points into the next round of the playoffs, Alex Bowman, on the other hand, was not that fortunate. He was as far back as 13 points back, sitting in 14th place at one time in this race. However, he was able to slowly work his way, literally fight his way, getting into an incident with Bubba Wallace during this race, and was able to get himself all the way back up into the top 5. Just when everyone was thinking, oh my gosh, how has he gotten himself back into position? It was then in a moment where, even though he worked his way up to second place behind the leader, he just couldn't gain one more position. He couldn't catch the lead. He was still 1 point back from Ryan Newman, but Ryan Newman made one fatal error into all of this. He overshot the backstretch chicane and was forced by NASCAR to come in for a stop and go penalty. That was the one moment that sealed the deal for Alex Bowman. He did everything he had to fight his way back up to second place. And even though he had been fighting illness all weekend and fighting all of the incidents that happened, Alex Bowman was able to rally to a second place finish in the Charlotte Roval and secure his way into the round of 12. As mentioned, this great story of redemption came with a price though, as he did make a new rival in the form of Bubba Wallace. After Alex Bowman claimed that Bubba Wallace had been driving around holding up Bowman and flipping him off, well, Alex Bowman had enough of that. He spun him out, and then after the race, Bubba Wallace was still very mad, and despite Alex Bowman being on the ground being seen by medical officials, he still came up to Alex Bowman and said he didn't like what he did, and he splashed him with water in his face and walked off. I can't say I was a big fan of this at the time. I expected something to come of this, obvious, but I still don't know if theoretically kicking a man while he's down is the best way that Bubba Wallace could have went with that. It's up for debate, but it happened. We can't take it back. We just need to watch how this goes in the future. So meanwhile, like I said, that was not the only story of redemption for Hendrick Motorsports this weekend, as who would be the guy to be just ahead of Alex Bowman in this race? Well, none other than the guy who was in the lead, crashed while in the lead, had a lot of damage to his car, Mr. Chase Elliott. He slowly and methodically worked his way through the field, catching some brakes while there were some cautions, and then right at the end with 5 laps to go, he was able to get up there to Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex Jr., who had been taking turns with the lead after that, and he got back around him. He literally had the fastest car of the day, and Chase Elliott got a very deserving win at the Charlotte Roval. Chase Elliott by far is becoming one of the best road course racers in the modern day circuit of NASCAR, and it is showing, especially with another run like the one he had. I have never seen a comeback just like this one in more ways than one. That was really impressive. And to top it all off, the very spot where he had his wreck that everyone thought would have ruined his entire day, he went right up to it, planted his car right in the middle there, and did a big burnout right in front of everybody to see. The man even jumped out of his car while it was moving. Dude was unreal. What a madman. I can't believe it. Props to Chase Elliott and Hendrick Motorsports for a great weekend by not just one but 2 of their drivers. Really all of their drivers this weekend. Fantastic performance at the Roval for them. So with all of the excitement that happened at the Charlotte Roval in the entire round of 16, that now leaves our playoff standings looking like this for the round of 12. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, and Clint Bowyer are make up the round of 12. The 4 drivers we must say goodbye to in this first round are Eric Almirola, Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, and Eric Jones. Thank you guys for playing, and we'll see what's going to happen in the next round of 12. This should be very interesting for Mr. Alex Bowman, as he's coming off of a second place finish, and the next 3 races, well, he just so happened to finish second at all 3 of these races earlier in the spring. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. This has been your Monday Minute of Danny B following the Charlotte Roval race, and I know this has been way more than a minute. We have a new track record for Danny B Needs a Minute. Guys, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.